and welcome to our debut episode of NHL Chatroom, live on Sportsnet's Facebook page and YouTube channels. I'm Ailish, not to be confused with Billie Eilish, joined by the one and only Steve Dangle, who you all love and love to hate.
Well, I'm a hit with my parents. Those are my only confirmed fans. And is that a problem? Ailish Forfar, by the way, our wonderful host. Is that like an issue? People, it's like Billie Eilish.
Well, I never had that issue in my former life, but now Billie Eilish is such a big deal that I get that at Starbucks. I get that everywhere. Like, oh, like the singer. Like, did your parents name you after her? And like, I'm much older than Billie Eilish, sadly.
Oh, coffee's got to be a nightmare for you.
I just have a fake name, just like Ashley. I'm Ashley.
Yeah, and they screw that up too, I'm sure.
Well, our new show. Let's talk about that. No one wants to hear about my name. We all want to hear from you during and after the show, so get chatting in the comments because we know you're keyboard warriors. And let us know how much you disagree with Steve's takes and obviously agree with mine.
No, my takes are bulletproof. Always listen. You're already really getting into the I played the game thing. Like, I get it. I get it, Ailish. Okay, I just learned how to do a crossover, sort of, not even really. I would never use it in a game, which, by the way, is non-contact. I get it. You played at Ryerson and you played at Dartmouth. That one's in a rider that you got to mention. She played at Dartmouth. You represented Canada. You played for the Markham Thunder, the CWHL, and you even scored a professional goal. Exactly one more.
Just one.
The rest of us common plebs. Do we have that? Can we watch the majesty that is that rocket of a goal?
Back off the boards, picked up by Fortino, shot on goal, rebound, and she scores! Ailish Forfar with an absolute missile, and the Thunder are up by 4.
Where were you coming from?
I don't know. I'm a winger, but it looked like I was coming from the point. You know what? I was just like, I don't know. I didn't have much structure. I would just go there. And that was actually my first ever game. So it all went downhill from there.
I was about to say, you seemed a little inexperienced. You went with the tried, tested, and true look surprised, Sally.
I was shocked. First ever professional game. My fans, my friends, my parents are there. And then they shouldn't have come for the rest of the season because they didn't get any more goals. But enough about me. We're not here to talk about the CWHL, which, rest in peace to that league. We're here to talk about a real league that's currently functioning and halfway through the playoffs, basically. So let's kick off with our headlines segment. So every week we'll be bringing you the headlines of the week. And so as of last night, Demko and the Canucks. Now, if I was an NHL coach facing elimination, I would just simply play my backup goaltender who's never started an NHL playoff game because it's clearly starting to work.
Simply, like, what do we have over the last 48 hours in terms of wins? We got Thatcher, Demko. We got a Michael Hutchinson.
You cannot forget Michael Hutchinson.
Absolutely cannot. Coming in the clutch, and I just knew he would. But getting back to Thatcher, Demko, the first rookie goalie, if I remember this stat correct, just watch this pack. It wasn't an easy night for him. The first rookie
42
goalie. 42 saves in his Stanley Cup playoff debut in an elimination game since Jose Theodore did it in 1997, which was not recent. Look at it. That one's just cookie cutter.
Oh, goalie hugs, the best hugs.
The best. And
that's what I miss about playing because I never was like into selling much, so I would just get to hug the goalie at the end of the game, and like that was pretty much the only interaction I had.
Well, I mean, listen, it's more than the rest of us. Now,
that's right.
The question everyone seems to be asking is, can he do it again? And the answer is he kind of has to.
Exactly. He has to. And I thought it was amazing that his teammates were praising, after the game, Thatcher, who also, how can you not support a guy named Thatcher? Like, we got the same problem going here. He's probably never had a keychain with his name on it.
Right.
He goes to bed at 10 o'clock, eats healthy. Like, they were just praising just the work ethic of this guy and came in obviously under the gun and performed. So the question is, and we want to hear from all of you in the chat, think he's going to be able to do it? I think, as you said, he's got no other choice.
I mean, he held up his end of the bargain. And I mean, not every game He's not going to be able to pull off 42 of 43 every game. The bigger question to me is, can the Canucks help him out a bit? Because they didn't do a very good job. He bailed them out, and they're going to have to give two much more complete efforts if they're going to have a shot in Game 6 and hopefully 7.
So we obviously want to see the lone Canadian team left in the playoffs hopefully continue to stave off elimination. So we'll be back in action tomorrow night to see if the Canucks and Demko can continue their pretty exciting run. But let's talk about headline number 2, your pick for the Cup, the Colorado Avalanche, forcing a dramatic way, forcing a Game 6, thanks to playoff hero Michael Hutchinson.
And it's just, let's play a game called It's Always About the Leafs. Somehow Michael Hutchinson gets the win in this one. The Avs were very close to pulling off a record for the amount of time it took to score 4 goals. And I went and looked who holds the record thanks to Sportsnet stats. Guess what? It was Montreal against the Leafs. Look at this. Just a snipe, but a tough night in net.
That was a crazy first period.
Yeah, well, and the Avs looked a lot more like what I expected out of them. They're the sort of team. The reason I picked them for the Stanley Cup, like, no disrespect to Pavel Francouz, no disrespect to even Philip Grubauer, but like, I wouldn't put those guys top 10, maybe top 15 goalies in the league. It's just the Avs are a wagon. So I could see them with anybody in net, maybe even you or me.
Okay, don't get too dramatic.
Stars. I'm just saying, and that's no disrespect to the Stars. I just think the world of the Avs.
Can Michael Hutchinson be the Binnington of this playoff run?
Okay, well, no, just straight up no. But he was a weird goalie with the Leafs. He put up really good stats early on with Winnipeg. He was unbeatable in the AHL for a while. The problem he had with the Leafs is he would play a steady game and then allow like 3 goals in 3 minutes. So he just needs to sort of stave off those little brain farts, and he's got a shot.
They had a 5-0 lead, which is a pretty nice cushion to come in, and he's still got a little dodgy there at times.
When it was 5-2, you were like, oh no. I thought it could happen. It didn't.
We our buddy here, Bill, in the chat says the Avs are going to the finals. Dallas blew it. But you might be right, Bill.
That was the game. Dallas blew it. That's interesting. I don't know. It sort of seems like they have 2 more games to blow if they will have blown it. But you might be right. They had a shot.
I mean, how much more can Nathan McKinnon truly do? Like, put the fire emojis in the chat. Like, this guy's won. I think if he gets a point tonight, he ties Mark Messier and Bobby Orr for the second longest postseason opening streak or something. Like, I mean, not a big deal. It's not Bobby Orr, the one that's playing for the Halifax Mooseheads, in case you're wondering, because there is another Bobby Orr.
Along with, and he's a forward, which is, that to me is the most upsetting part. That and like, he's young, he's in junior. His parents had plenty of runway to know, like, maybe don't name your kid Bobby Orr, or maybe they're just that confident. I don't know. I don't know if we've seen a player this dominant in a playoffs this early on since maybe Erik Karlsson in 2017. Like the sort of dominance where you can call it right now. He's going to win the Conn Smythe if they go all the way, and it's not even the 3rd round.
Yeah, he's fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
So I guess we got a comment from Trocero7. Comparing Hutch to Binnington is a stretch. Well, we're all about the. If I'm right, it's going to be the best take ever. If not, we'll just pretend it never happened.
Is it a stretch or optimism? Like, I feel like it's what
optimism.
We need. Yeah, we need that more in 2020. And listen, the thing about the 2020 Stanley Cup playoffs, they haven't been weird enough to me. Are
you kidding?
No, they haven't. The weird moments have been there, not necessarily the weird outcomes. Like I keep thinking, oh, this is going to happen. That's why my 3rd round picks, I'm like, I'm just going to pick the Islanders. Like I know they're going to beat the Flyers just because of the way they play. I'm going to stop picking the wacky team. Like that's why I think I had the Bruins beating the Lightning too, because I stopped going with my heart. So you never know.
Well, I'm ready to talk about the Islanders later on in the show. I got a whole segment dedicated to them. Love that team right now, jumping on the wagon. But I think we've got an exciting game tonight, which will be right after our show. So please stay tuned and watch the Avs, and hopefully we can be talking about them next week too, because they are probably the most exciting team left to watch, in my opinion. So I do not want their season to end.
It's not a popular opinion. Some people talk about them being a little boring, but I guess we'll get to that.
Oh, please. You think the Avalanche are boring? Please say that in the chat.
Oh, the Avs. Sorry, I thought you were saying the Islanders. My God.
No,
I was like,
the Islanders are boring.
No.
No.
The Avs are adrenaline with a maroon jersey.
It's crazy.
They're great. Yeah.
Okay. Miscommunication happens on Zoom all the time.
It's because I got the bad headphones. I got to get the good ones
right.
like you. I get it.
Actually, Robert has a comment here in the chat. So when are we upgrading Steve to AirPods? Yeah, like what you look like a little bit like a peasant there, Steve.
Okay. Listen, we get it. You have money. I get it.
I
went to
you
Dartmouth.
work full time for Sportsnet.
I can afford sunflowers. Like we get it. We get it.
You have like 3,000 figurines in your room.
Okay, see, that's bullying. This is why I chose the one blank wall. This is bullying. I have a bunch that I still need to put up. This is TJ Oshie, and this is Shea Weber, and this is my obsession. Oh, I could have pulled this out earlier in the conversation. There you go, Mac Daddy.
Those look like the things I used to collect when I would get Happy Meals at McDonald's.
Well, I'll have you know they're more expensive and cumbersome because I'm an adult. Yeah.
Okay. Holy, this is going to be fun trying to keep you online and follow our script. So I'm moving on. Headline number 3, guys. Today we had a show day treat. You know, we didn't really know what we were going to talk about. And then all of a sudden, boom, Canadians acquire Montreal native Jake Allen from the Blues. So that was an exciting acquisition. And, you know, I am proud to have 2 university degrees, but I'm not a financial analyst. So can you please explain to me if spending $15 million on goaltending in one season is good or bad? Like, just dumb it down for me.
So this is the wild thing to me. So the Montreal Canadiens are doing something that I've been begging them to do for a long time, which is using their cap space, using some of the horde of draft picks that they have. So this is what they still have after this deal this season. Their own first, their own second, Chicago's second, St. Louis's second, their own third, their own fourth, the Ducks fourth, the Jets fourth, their own fifth, the Panthers fifth, their own sixth, and not their own seventh, but the Sens seventh, which is better. So they're doing good things, and they're helping to protect an asset in Carey Price. Here's the problem, though. They have a $10.5 million goalie against the cap, and they acquired a $4.35 million goalie to go with it. Almost $15 million, like you just mentioned. It's actually crazier than that, because in terms of actual dollars, Jake Allen only makes 4. Oh, okay, that's less than his cap hit. Carey Price makes 15 next year, and Charlie Lindgren will make 750. Now that won't count against the cap, but it's actual money, whether he's in the minors or not. It's going to be close to $20 million the Habs are spending in net next year. They're using their cap space, they're using their assets, but is their identity, like we talk about the Islanders or the Stars even, their identity is a great defensive team. What is Montreal's identity? That they have to get bailed out by their goalie every night? It's not the same. It's not the same. Like defense, like it's not all about stopping puck. You're basically committing to winning every game the way Thatcher Demko won Game 5.
So Daniel Clark Bouchard in the chat wants to know who Montreal needs to acquire at forward now that they have Jake Allen.
Man, I think the plan seems pretty obvious.
I'll give you a list.
Yeah, the plan seems pretty obvious. Whether they keep Max Domi or not, they're still going to be a little lean up front and especially down the middle. What I think the plan is, though, is because they keep hoarding draft picks every year, I actually think they've drafted really well. I think Nick Suzuki, he's way better than I even thought he would be by this point. So I think the plan is to spend a lot of money in net and go young. They're going to go young and feisty. Suzuki, Paling. You're going to have Romanov on the back end. Boy, it's $15 million in net, though. I don't know.
Do you think that the Blues are going to be able to sign a specific defenseman that people in Toronto were hoping, might fall into their hands?
I think they are going to be able to. I don't think it's going to be a very
bummer.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a tough sell for Alex Pietrangelo. I mean, if you're going to take a discount, you might as well go with the team that can win a cup because you've done it with them.
So goodbye to that dream, eh?
Goodbye to that dream. And there's a lot of goalies available this summer, fall.
I don't know. Who knows when that will be?
Screwing up my mental clock, but there's lots of goalies available, and they'll be able to get a backup for Jordan Binnington for less than $4 million.
And the deal was, I think you said a couple 7th round picks. So I Googled because I don't know who the best 7th round pick of all time was, because I think I've tuned out after round 2. But, there was a goaltender named Freddie Anderson picked in the 7th round, and a couple other people, Palat, Hornquist, Strawman, Gunnarsson. So you can find some hidden gems if you got a 7th round pick. It's not fully a write-off, but, at that point, you're really looking for a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, it's but man, they have 3/4 in each of the next 2 drafts. Like Mark Bergevin just loves his draft picks, but they gotta the Habs have no excuse to me to not every year be a cap team, even in the years where they don't expect to contend. So if he spends to the cap, if he uses the draft capital that he's got, Habs could be a wagon, but they have a very odd window with their most important players already in their 30s and these young guys coming up. Very weird window. Yeah.
The end of this segment, my final comment is who is going to sign David Ayres, because I'm waiting. So headline 4. Crosby undergoes surgery. So when you first get that alert, you're like, oh my God, what's happening? But, just so nobody panics, he went under the knife the second time this season, actually, but this time was for a wrist surgery. Says he should recover in 3 to 4 weeks, but this is the second time he's had surgery this season. Now they got Kapanen, but where do the Penguins stack up next year? What are your expectations for these? It's a little bit of an aging core as well.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting. Sidney Crosby's earned, his body has earned my respect. Most players I see, they're out for surgery. They're out for especially wrist surgery. I'm like, oh, they're not going to be able to shoot the puck properly for God knows how long, 6 months. Crosby's the only guy I hear goes into surgery, and I think of him like he's Wolverine, like he's made of adamantium, and he's going to come back even better than before. The Penguins as a whole, though, boy, are they fidgety. Jim Rutherford, he loves making a deal, and a lot of it seems like deck chairs on the Titanic. And what's different about this Kapanen deal is it's pretty much just a straight buy. Gives up a really high pick, the 15th overall pick, gives up one of the team's top 5 prospects probably to get Kapanen. And granted, Kapanen's young, but it's a straight buy. He thinks the Penguins can win a cup next year, but I mean, I doubt they're one move away on account of they lost in the qualifier to the Habs.
Michael O'Connor tends to agree. He says, nah, they're finished. Honestly, should explore trading Crosby and Malkin.
Okay, bud. I don't think that's, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. It makes all the sense in the world, for example, for the New York Rangers to go and try to find a team for Henrik Lundqvist, but ew. I never want to see him on another team. We have pictures of Martin Brodeur in a Blues jersey that we just shouldn't have that in our memory bank. And to see Crosby or Malkin play for anyone else, I don't know. Listen, if Jim Rutherford trades Crosby or Malkin before he trades Jack Johnson, we have to have an intervention. We have to.
It only took 23 minutes for you to mention Jack Johnson.
Only 23 minutes. Isn't that, what's his number? I don't even know.
I think I had it within 10 actually. So I guess I lost that bet, but still.
Yeah.
Too many times you do mention him tonight though, because he's going to come up again, I'm sure.
He needs an intervention there. Yeah.
I'm just my final thought for this is rehabbing a wrist injury. I remember I broke a wrist, and my parents made me this hockey stick, and they put pucks on it, and I had to do wrist curls to work on my wrist shot. It didn't work. So hopefully by now they've come up with better rehab options for players than your parents making you makeshift wrist curls, because I think my shot was worse because of that. So
Wow, blaming
someone
your
help
parents.
Crosby out.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay, blaming your
good
parents.
thing my parents don't know how to turn YouTube on because they won't be able to watch this and know that I'm just going to roast their rehab methods. So love you, Mom.
Yeah, I heard what you said on the thing. I don't know why I'm talking like your parents are 75. They're definitely younger than my parents.
I don't know, actually. All right, moving on. Okay. This is a really important and final headline for us to talk about. So we want to discuss some of the Black Lives Matter, things that have happened. It's been almost a week since the NHL halted games in solidarity for Black Lives Matter. And, since then we've seen them continue to play. And obviously the show didn't exist last week. So it's our first opportunity to kind of break it down and get your opinion on the matter. But I'll say, for me, I thought the NHL was on the wrong side of history last Wednesday when they, continued to play with every other league halting, but you can't go back and change that. It's about what you're going to do meaningful and in the future. So I'm kind of waiting for some action and the time for listening and learning and saying, we support is over and I want to see action. So the Hockey Diversity Alliance has put out, as you saw in the roll there, kind of a statement here about what they want from the NHL. So it's 8 actionable items, and I think it's a great starting point. And yeah, what are your thoughts, Steve?
Well, and what they're asking for, one of the first points there is they want, I think it's 3.5% of executives to be, what was it, visible minorities? Yeah,
it's they want the number of Black executives to be at 3.5% before the end of 24-25 season, which to me it's such a low number, and we just tolerated that.
3.5. What they're asking for is so little. What I think is so great about the movement is the last letter there. They're the alliance. So it's fewer players sort of standing on an island. I've talked to Kevin Weeks in the past. Every time there's some sort of racist incident with a fan or whatever, his phone blows up, and he's like, "I'm getting kind of sick of this." Now it's not just all the Black players in the NHL that are teaming up. There was a great clip, Luke Shen and Braden Coburn taking questions, and as white players in the league,
directing it back to
the conversation and being good allies. So a little very late to the game, the NHL was, but it seems like this past week there was legitimate progress.
Right. And it definitely shouldn't fall on the shoulders of players of color to be the ones leading that, but the Hockey Diversity Alliance made that claim, and players have rallied alongside that. So we just hope that every week we could be bringing more information and, more progress and actionable steps that have happened. So this is week 1 of that. And, it was an important week, and we are obviously going to keep our eyes on that because it's an important topic, regardless if the season's going on or not.
Absolutely.
So now let's move on to our debate topic. So this is going to be called Drop the Gloves. So I'm ready to fight, Steve.
Oh my God, why are you ready to fight?
Because I want to, actually, I don't know your take on this. So we might be fighting, we might not be fighting. We didn't talk about this in advance, but the hot topic is, are the Bruins dead, basically? Has their window closed? Are we going to see, another chance at Stanley Cup for the Boston Bruins? What is your opinion?
Well, no. I want to know yours. I want to know yours first.
I think it's over. I think it was over last year when they lost in Game 7, and, that was when it closed for me. I'm not a Bruins fan. I did go to school outside of Boston, and I think that made me less of a Bruins fan to be around Boston fans. So they'll probably be in my mentions. But I think after they lost last week, or I don't even know weeks, days anymore, you just heard the energy in that locker room. We only had 1 or 2 years left in our core group, and you never know when you're going to get another chance to win the cup. And, Chara saying, I don't know if I'm going to play next year. And it's I know it's grim. They just lost, but doesn't seem like there's much confidence in what's left in the Boston dressing room at that point. I mean, they do have a lot of youth on their roster, but you can't just build a team around Charlie McAvoy and Brandon Carlo. I'm going to say that I still think it's gross that David Pasternak's only 24 years old, but besides him, I don't know. I really think that the ship has sailed in Boston.
Oh, Ailish, Forfar. It's just to be young and optimistic. No, to be young and optimistic. Listen, everything you said is correct.
Oh,
Everything you said is correct, except that the Bruins are done. I have learned that they don't go away. I have learned that they defy your expectations, and I have learned that you can outplay them and still lose the series, especially when you had a chance to close them out in 6 on home ice. I have learned a lot of things, and
did that happen?
Well, a little bit, maybe a few times. Listen, maybe when they're down 4-1, maybe it's not over then. Maybe when you score a 6 shorthanded goal. Oh, which highlight is this? Which one did you find there? Oh, there it is.
Why are you playing this?
Here we go. Because, I don't know, you're just getting a live glimpse into my brain at all times there, Ailish Forfar. And who was there in front of the net there on the tying goal? Zdeno effing Chara. Oh, there's Patrice Bergeron with his... I met him. He's so annoyingly handsome and polite. I wanted him to be a jerk so bad. Do you see this? I know this is from 7 years ago.
I hate it.
I just know better. They're not done. And I don't think Chara's done either. The bubble is a tough way to go out, especially for someone who's literally been playing since the 90s. Like, he played against Gretzky. Zdeno Chara will be back for 1 year, and the Bruins window is at least 1 more year. Okay,
so I'll put an amendment in my comment. I think that whatever Chara's decision is that will come in the next couple months is going to dictate what the whole atmosphere of the dressing room is. It's like when Justin Williams stuck around to try to win, and like that was heartwarming to me. But it's not heartwarming when it's Chara. I don't know why. I just
because
can't get.
He's a giant lummox who gets away with
Can't
everything.
find any love in my heart for Boston. And you were getting comments, Steve, that it's not a therapy session. You need to calm down from Punka.
Okay, listen. Yes, it is.
Listen here, Punka.
How about this isn't Punka's show? I don't see your name up on the Chiron there, Punka. Okay? I see mine. And
I'm going to send a Zoom invite to Punka and get Punka up on the screen here.
No.
Anyway. Okay, so we both think that, no. I don't even know. I don't really get your point, is that you just always think the Bruins are going to have life. Like,
yep. Here's what I wonder, and I've wondered this for a few years.
Convince me.
They always say, oh, you play a couple inches taller when you have a guy like so-and-so on the ice. You play about half a foot taller with Zdeno Chara on the ice just by probably getting a piggyback or something like that from him. The Bruins' identity is they fight. They do get away with some things some people might say, but if you disagree with that, they do fight. They are feisty, and they just play unafraid. And part of me wonders, does some of that go away when Zdeno Chara leaves, or did he leave that culture for the future of the Bruins? To me, that's the biggest question.
Ooh, that's a very interesting statement, but
I know I'm good at this.
What I think we can both agree on is that Bruins fans won't be happy either way.
Oh, no. I mean,
we might see some more of those fiery tweets, like, that one we're all thinking about the person that said the thing about Tuukka Rask.
Chara quit on the Bruins. I can't believe it. This guy, he left the team. He abandoned them. You know what's going to happen.
How dare, he have family things to attend to or want to retire in good health. No. It's never going to be enough.
It's never going to be. I got to watch him on my back porch in Peabody. Like, buddy, chill. Wait,
where is that a city you just said?
Peabody. Yeah, it's like Pickering, but for Boston. That's how I describe it. Leave a comment in the comment box down below.
Is anybody from correct? Boston? Can you give us
Peabody?
Send us a map.
Yeah, but didn't you? I thought you said you.
I frequented the Boston area, but like mostly when we were playing Harvard or BU or BC, and you would just go to their campus and walk around and be like.
You weren't,
or like go to MIT and be like, holy smokes, these people are smart.
You were Jimmy Butler about it. It's a business trip.
It was business. We weren't there to, go to coffee shops or do whatever people in Boston do.
Yeah, I got it.
I could go back now and enjoy it, but I just couldn't back then.
No, that makes sense.
All right, let's move on to the wagon. Wagon. So this came to life because Steve's obsessed with the word wagon.
Wagon.
I don't know where this came from, but you just can't stop saying wagon. So we've made a segment out of it.
Ailish, this show, wagon.
To wagon. Everyone's on the bandwagon now because it didn't exist
Wagon.
before, and now you're watching. So you're on our wagon. Welcome.
Yeah. To me, it's like wagon is just is something, is a team, is a player totally legit forever. Do they have
Forever?
Do they have the juice or the sauce? Because the sauce is forever. So that is your comparable. Bandwagon is it temporary? Is it the juice? I don't know. We're gonna see.
Okay.
What do you have?
So my wagon of the week. What a sentence! I've never thought I'd have to say it that loud. Is the New York Islanders, and we briefly touched on the New York Islanders, and I'd love to, just lay down the law here and call out everyone. If you type in the words New York Islanders and boring on Twitter, it's just people throwing flames at the Islanders for being boring. But you know what? It's working, okay? And maybe I like their boring style of hockey, which is like trapping and being smart. Like, sorry that not everyone can have 7 players worth $20 million that are walking highlight reels.
Okay, all right.
I told you I'm not good at math, but I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of teams that have that much cap space in their forwards. But anyway, I think I'm a part of the Islanders bandwagon because they show up, they have purpose, they have an identity, and they just all buy in. And it's not that hard of a thing to comprehend that you don't need creativity and flash and pizzazz if you just want to play like a chess match and think 1 or 2 moves ahead. So I respect the Islanders, and I think everyone ripping on them is probably just jealous that they're succeeding, and maybe their boring style of hockey isn't that fun. But I kind of relate it back to my college hockey coach who was ex-military, Secret Service.
Oh.
Yeah, crazy. But he taught us like how to play hockey structurally and with an identity, and you buy in or else. And I feel like that's kind of what's going on with the Islanders. So maybe I just like stand their, game plan because I relate to it. So I'm on the wagon.
Wagon?
They're a wagon.
Yeah.
Anyone in the wagon, please comment. Join my wagon for the Islanders. We'll take you.
What did it for me is I saw the way they picked apart the Florida Panthers, and I saw how vulnerable the Caps looked in that opening little round or round robin. And the biggest miscalculation I made heading into these playoffs is I thought the more skilled teams were going to have a huge advantage because the teams that are more structured, like the Islanders, aren't going to have time to establish that structure. It was the total opposite. You look at the teams that are already out and the Stars are succeeding, the Isles are succeeding. I was wrong. I was totally wrong. The Islanders are a wagon.
So at Jesse Klooster saying that the Isles are boring as hell. It's the only way Lou knows how to build a team.
I don't know.
You sound bitter, Jesse. You sound a little bitter.
Yeah, listen. I will never forgive the New Jersey Devils were the kings, like the 90s Devils were the kings of scoring on you in the first 2 minutes and winning 1-0. There's one game from my childhood I'll still never forgive them for putting me through. And that's not even game 7 against the Leafs where they held the Leafs to just 6 shots. It's never good when you have fewer shots than the game you're playing in. That was bad. But the 16-17 Leafs, that was fun. That wasn't boring at all. Don't put this on Lou. Leo Komarov he's exciting in different ways. Matt Barzal is exciting.
Matt Barzal is so exciting.
So exciting. Anders Lee, Jordan Eberle is an extremely exciting player. Josh Bailey, Brock Nelson. Listen, the moment of peace I had was realizing they're not a bandwagon. They're a wagon.
Retweet. Final comment on that is, they say defense wins championships. So we'll see next week if more people have joined the wagon.
Yeah,
on the Isles. So, okay, Steve, you have your own wagon, which is like the most random assortment of players. So please tell us and see if you get anyone on the wagon for you.
So I brought up a player, Josh Bailey, part of one of the stranger drafts in retrospect, and that is the 2008 draft. So he was drafted 9th overall, and he's had a good playoff so far, and people act surprised. They act surprised. Because with being the 9th overall pick comes expectations, and he didn't necessarily live up to those expectations. That does not mean he's not an unreal player. Different version of that, also from the top 10 of the 2008 draft. My wagon. I'm sorry, folks. I couldn't believe when I saw him out there killing penalties in 2020, 12 years after he was drafted, and over 750 games after he was drafted. Luke Schenn.
Ooh, blast from the past.
Blast from the past and the present, because the guy is killing. He might have a Stanley Cup held above his head. Look at that guy.
There he is. Look at him go.
Number 2 in blue and white, just how you left him. Look at that wagon. Smashing into guys, and oh boy, yeah, no, that looks familiar too. And listen, it's not the prettiest. It's maybe not even the most effective by the numbers, but it is hard to play in and stay in the National Hockey League, and he's been there for 750 games. I know he was the 5th overall pick. Listen, he was labeled as the next Scott Stevens in 2008. And the problem with that is there's never going to be another Scott Stevens. If your team drafts the next Scott Stevens, they're only going to play maybe 20 out of 80 games because they'll be suspended the whole time before they're kicked out of the league and possibly arrested.
Okay,
Steve. You're not allowed to do that anymore.
You also tell me all the time that Jack Johnson's played a lot of games, but you still say he sucks. So it doesn't matter how many games you play. Like, you got to get a little bit more detailed here. Why Luke Schenn's a wagon? I'm glad
you brought that up. So Luke Schenn has not had people going to bat for him for years and years, telling us that he's awesome when he's very clearly not very good. This dude paid his dues in the minors. I think he was put on waivers at least once. I want to say there was a buyout. Zach Bogosian, you can put in the same wagon.
Oh, yeah.
650 games, 3rd overall pick from that same draft. Here's the thing. No one's been going to bat for these guys. Look at this.
There he is. Look at him go.
Look at him. Turnstile. Oh,
that was sweet, actually.
Look at this guy. So
he's definitely not the most agile, but look at him go.
No, absolutely. And for both him and Luke Schenn, they haven't had a GM or several offering them millions and millions of dollars in recent years and going to bat for them time and time again. These guys have actually had to slog it out to stay in the league and pay their dues in the minors and go on waivers and things of that nature. Whereas Jack Johnson, he's got a championship winning GM just telling us he's awesome when he's very clearly not. It's very strange to me.
Alex DeSera says Luke Schenn got screwed in Toronto. Agree, disagree?
Yeah, he was mismanaged. And you look at another defenseman from that draft from the same team, only 7 picks later, I believe. It was Tyler Myers. So he was 12th overall. Luke Schenn was 5th. The difference, Luke Schenn immediately went to the burning dumpster that was the 08-09 Leafs. Tyler Myers went back to the Cologne. Burning dumpster, Ailish Forfar. Burning dumpster. And Tyler Myers went back to the WHL to win a WHL championship with the Kelowna Rockets. Now, would there have been room for Schenn and Myers on that same WHL team? Probably not, but you trade a guy. He can get traded and get tons of ice time, play 20, 25 minutes on some other team. To have him on the Leafs and immediately anoint him, yeah, don't worry, you're going to save this team that doesn't have any goaltending or anyone who can score. It seemed very unfair, and it created ridiculous expectations that have still followed him to this day. But Luke Schenn. Yeah, Luke Schenn is in the NHL a dozen years later.
I can't hear the word Luke Schenn anymore.
Luke Schenn.
No, we have to move on.
Zach Bogosian?
You're going to talk about can't talk about Luke Schenn or Zach Bogosian anymore, okay? You can't have them in your bandwagon next week or your wagon next week either. So hopefully you got it out of your system because it's too much for me, okay?
Okay.
But now we're going to hear more from you with your Dang It's preview. So everybody loves Dang It's. Yeah, Mr. Negative. So please tell us who's going to be in your Dang It this week, or a little preview for what's to come.
Well, every week I do a video called Steve's Dang It. And it's not just bloopers. It's just things that make you say dang it there, Ailish Forfar. And producer Drew is behind these Dang It's videos. And I just want to bring the clip on the screen. I just want to show the world Drew's boys, because he is a big Colorado Avalanche fan. And I know he's going to be very upset about that. Oh, Cale Makar, Rookie of the Year candidate. What are you doing? Oh, Dennis. Oh, it's never good when the guy
don't show
laughs.
that. That's sad.
He knows. Oh boy. Oh, I'm gonna make Steve's dang it. This is what that face says. No. And
another angle. I can't.
he came very close to. He didn't want to. Who was the guy who hit Thomas Vokoun with his stick? Keith Ballard.
No.
You don't remember that? He swung his stick and he hit his own goalie in the head because he was upset.
God, no.
That
you know everything about every single NHL game ever played. Like, do you just read like all day, all night? Don't you have a child?
Yeah, but like I don't know, he sleeps most of the time, and I just hold
You
him.
just read to him,
Yeah.
hey, there's this one game in 1948, and this thing happened, and one day you'll need to talk about it.
That's a tip. Puts him right to sleep, and I'm teaching him words.
You're gonna put our chat to sleep.
Okay. Listen, everybody. Everyone wants to hear about Thomas Vokoun and Keith Ballard, but Cale Makar, great player, a wagon even. That's a dang it.
No,
Dang it.
he's not a wagon because he's like too good. It has to be something a little bit on the edge where you're like, oh yeah, that could be a wagon. Like obviously Cale Makar is a hero. He can't be a wagon too.
A hero, wow.
There's rules to this. Not everything could be a wagon. Okay.
That's true.
So since Steve likes to show kind of like pessimist, sad clips of Cale Makar like crying, and it's just like it's really hard to watch. I want to leave people on a very positive note. You know, sunflowers, the nature, the upbeat personality. That's what I'm trying to bring to like offset you, Steve. So I'm going to introduce a little segment called the A-list, which is pun on my name being Ailish. Get it?
I get it.
Love puns. So on my list is Stickgate. So if you haven't been watching the Vancouver Canucks being amazing and hiding their starting lineup with towels and putting their entire coaching lineup on the ice, on the bench as well. And then last night, which I thought was amazing, they had most of the Sportsnet staff on the bench, so it looked like they were starting. But if you look close enough, I don't see either of our names, Steve. I know we hadn't put the show promo out yet, but I'm a little disappointed that they didn't know we would be part of the team. Actually, I did see the word nobody, so that might have been your stick.
It could be mine. I saw former NHLer Zach Dalpe actually said that's mine.
Oh,
I thought that was funny. Yeah. Oh well. I mean, your stick couldn't be in the pile. It's in the Hall of Fame from when you scored that one goal. I know it is. I've seen it.
That's fired.
I paid money to see it.
I'm gonna express post my stick to Edmonton for the Canucks. Hopefully they have a little bit longer to put it on the bench for me.
Right.
All right, guys. So we're going to move on to our final thoughts. Well, that really flew by, didn't it?
Flew by. When you're having fun.
When you're having fun. So final thoughts. Whoa, boy. That was a fun run, I think. We got a couple comments we got Lucas here. So there's a game tonight. We know there's a game tonight. The Avs.
A question from Luke S.
Luke S. says,
go ahead, Mr. Shen.
I'm on the Avalanche wagon for all of Nazem. So, okay, I love that. We can be on the Nazem wagon.
I'm on the Nas wagon for sure.
We got a comment from Lucky Bactard, missing a letter there. Good job. Ailish and Steve, game-winning goal selections for Avs versus Stars. So I want to go a step further and give a score prediction.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do both. I think it's 5-4 Avs. It's been very high scoring series. I went and double checked on that, but like everyone's scoring at least 5 goals. So it's got to be 5-4 in my opinion. And I want to see a Kadri goal.
Oh, okay. You already took Kadri. So I'm not going to say him. I'm going to go.
You weren't anyway. You're just saying that.
That's not true. Don't put those words in my mouth. In my mouth.
In your mouth.
In my mouth.
God.
My mouse is not working right now. I'm going to go with, you know who I like? I like Andre Burakovsky. I'm going to go with him. I like the game he's been playing.
So what's the score though?
Oh, the score.
So obviously we both have the Avs winning, I hope.
Yeah, it's going to be a tighter game.
Mm-hmm.
They're professional hockey players. We know they're weird, so they're going to be upset about the 3. Oh, well, come on. I mean, they're going to be mad about the 3, so it's going to be a tighter game. I'm going to say they win 4-2.
Okay. Cool. So once you're done watching us, just stay sitting on your couch because the game is tonight on Sportsnet. Hockey Central starts us off at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, followed by Game 6, Avs and Stars at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Sportsnet and CBC. And as always, you can stream every game on Sportsnet now. I just felt like I was reading a teleprompter.
I was like, oh,
I put my teleprompter voice on.
And Merrick,
like
you look very different. This has felt like the ice surfing set.
Woo! My final fun little tidbit to go out on is a message for kids who are starting school this week or next week. Sam Kim, who was just named video and coaching coordinator of the Toronto Maple Leafs, was once the New York Islanders mascot, Sparky, from 2008-2011, and that just came out this week, which I thought was a really fun little tidbit. So never stop chasing your dreams because you'll get there someday.
And he's had a weird little career path. You go on eliteprospects.com. There's actual staff pages, which I didn't know about. He's been a head coach at universities, an assistant coach, a skating coach at a certain
we love
school. He was a video coach for what I believe was the South Korean national team. And also the Leafs stole him from the Bakersfield Condors. So weird career paths are fun. The guy's only 35. Can you believe he's had that many jobs?
Well, I think the most fun job was probably being a mascot.
Probably. Just a little bit.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for tuning in and dealing with Steve with me because I couldn't really do it alone. And I really appreciate all of the support in the chat on my side of the wagon and of the debate. And we will see you next week here again, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific. Wow. On Sportsnet's YouTube and Facebook channels. So tune in next week and send us anything you want throughout the week and we might include it in the show. That's all for now.
Luke Shen.
Wear a mask.
Hey.